Well, everybody, you've seen the title, so it means that we are here to talk about Ultron, specifically the return of the one and only Ultron, and how a lot of people are being disappointed with the new update and the news of how the character is returning to be less comic accurate than ever before. Okay, so once again, we are here to talk about the return of Ultron after all this time away from the MCU. Believe it or not, Age of Ultron came out in 2015, so chances are that you just realized that we're all getting old, and it seems to be going by faster and faster. Now back on the Ultron front, because Ultron cannot age. See, I tie that around. It was mentioned by Deadline that Spader's vision, aka James Spader, who of course is the man that voiced Ultron, would not be just doing the voiceover this time around. This was then followed up recently by the one and only Hollywood Reporter, who has a little bit more, and this is what they said, and I quote, "Spader is reprising his role as Ultron, a sentient being created by Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, to act as a defense program, but instead turn against humanity as seen in the movie Avengers Age of Ultron." Okay, now we all knew this, it's just the basics, but it's catching the normal readers up. And then they talk a little bit about Ultron himself, saying, and I quote, "Ultron then had a hand in the creation of Vision, his son, so to speak. It's unclear whether Ultron will be returning as a robot or in human form." End quote. And then later on in the article, the implication is that they've heard both, and that it looks like we will be getting Ultron in his full robot form, but that we might actually spend the most amount of time with him in human form, and that James Spader might actually be playing Ultron come to life. Like, this is his flesh and skin version, or that they might be tossing a swerve at us with it, which could honestly be the case. We don't really know. Now, I think that this makes sense because this is a TV series. They're going to want to save money. There's no way they're spending $20 to $25 million an episode on this, having Ultron be CG every episode, because then that would call for giant battles and everything. I think you're going to get Robot Ultron sparingly up until the finale, and then it's going to be a all-out war, if you will. And there's been plenty of rumors of how they're going to tackle that as well, and the possibility of the West Coast Avengers forming, or at least some sort of semblance of them forming. So this definitely makes sense. We're not getting Ultron, and I get it's disappointing. I get he's not going to be comic accurate because he always comes back upgraded and more arms and bigger and built out of new material. I get that, but I don't think we're at that step yet. This is the first time he comes back from the dead. You cannot kill Ultron. That's like his whole thing. So if he returns after this, he will be upgraded. Or maybe he's back in human form while he's collecting vibranium and other tech to upgrade his next form. So I think we kind of get the best of both worlds. I get the disappointment, but we saw him develop himself just like this in Age of Ultron. So I don't think it's anything shocking or new or something to be super disappointed at.